How often do we confuse being busy with moving forward? Think back to the last decision that you made. Was it out of pressure or was it out of purpose? I know we're all busy. I'm busy. I'm a mom of 2. I'm a wife. I'm a creative entrepreneur. I'm 29. And I've got a busy social life, so juggling a lot of things is sometimes a challenge. I bet you can relate. But I want to tell you about a time where time stood still for me, and it forced me to reflect on what my purpose actually was. I gave birth to my second child last year, May 2024, had a beautiful pregnancy, really, really blessed and fortunate, and then tragedy hit. I gave birth to my son, and immediately he was taken off me and a crash call was put into the intensive care unit. 3 hours had gone by and I'm thinking, haven't seen him yet, what's going on? I remember going down to the intensive care ward and seeing him hooked up to a variety of wires, surrounded by a team of doctors with confused looks on their faces. And it was in that moment that my to-do list didn't matter. My achievements didn't matter. My diary schedule didn't matter. But I questioned why I moved at all. I wasn't consumed with busyness. I was thinking, what is my purpose? And actually, how can I turn this painful experience into purpose? See, I think there's a problem. We're all so busy. We're chasing the next thing. We're chasing how to climb our career paths, how to go after the next car, the next big house. We're consumed, we're scrolling social media, and we often don't take enough time to step back and think about what's next. I call it instant gratification. I get to work with a lot of young people, and I find that this microwave generation doesn't like to wait. We want things quick and we want it now. But in that busyness and in that rush, how much of that busyness is actually purposeful? I like to think about the Japanese theory of the ikigai that combines what you're passionate about, what you're good at, what the world needs, and then what you can be paid for. And I have spent so much time trying to combine those 4 components to really figure out what my purpose was. And I feel like I've adapted a 5-step theory that I want to share today that I think will help you along your journey of moving with purpose. The first one is stretch. When I think about stretching, I think about stretching beyond what feels safe, stepping out into the wild. And as dancers, we have to stretch before we perform. It's like mandatory. You know you're going to get injured otherwise. We prepare for what's ahead by stretching. We get our bodies ready for the challenge. At age 17, I sat around my mom's breakfast table and we bounced ideas back to each other about what a potential dance organization could look like. What was missing from Birmingham? We stumbled on the name Eloquent Dance and have spent the past decade building this organization from the ground up. No funding, no help, no real guidance, just passion fused with purpose. It required me to stretch. It required me to juggle a level 3 BTEC, a job at KFC, and then dance on the weekends. I was forced to stretch. Number 2, pivot. When we think about pivoting, we think about being agile, being flexible, changing direction. I have had to pivot so many times, but the biggest pivot for me was becoming a mom. I would spend all my energy building this organization, so passionate about business, creativity, entrepreneurship, and dance, and then 2 kids came. And I had to pivot. I was forced to pivot. I was forced to find a new pathway, a new direction, a new groove, a new flex as a mom that allowed me to juggle all the things I do so excellently well, whilst ministry being my first calling. What does your next pivot look like? Number 3, leap. Sometimes you've just got to step out and leap. No more talking, no more conversations, no more procrastination, just leap. I'm thinking about March 2020, when Boris locked us down. And I had just submitted my resignation to my full-time job as a secondary maths teacher. You can imagine my heart was in my mouth. I had left that job to step full-time into my business. Bearing in mind, I just took on a mortgage 12 weeks before that. And this decision required me to leap. I had to step out. I was thinking to myself, if I stay in this job, I can't build this organization the way I know it needs to be built. I have to take the leap to move from A to B. I took the leap, and now I stand here with a 6-figure organization, a thriving staff team, 2 studio spaces, over £1 million in funding over the past 6 years. And I look back and go, yes, man, congratulations for taking that leap. What leap do you need to take? And number 5, pause. I bet that was uncomfortable. Sometimes we don't take enough time to stop, but life will force us to stop. And when life forces us to stop, we get to realign. We get to rethink tomorrow. We get to heal. We get to love. We get to rest. And in that rest, we strategize for what's next. I used to lean against stopping. I was like, team, no stop. We've got to go. We've got to get this done. We've got to do this. And then life stopped me when my son was sick. And everything came into alignment. Don't lean against the stop, but lean into it. Your purpose is on the other side of that. So as we think about the 5, we think about stretching beyond what feels safe and preparing for the challenges ahead. We think about pivoting and churning in a new direction and facing a new different pathway and being agile and being flexible and grooving and moving into a new direction of what our purpose is calling us for. And then we think about the leap and how we have to just step out. And then we think about the stop. And then comes the rise. We rise above the challenges that life places in front of us. We stumble and fall, and then we learn to get back up. But what's beautiful about rising isn't doing it individually. You don't want to get to the top and find that you're the only one up there. We rise best when we uplift and empower those around us to come with us through creativity, collaboration, connection, community, and culture. That's the beauty of the rise. And I think about how we've done that through Eloquent over the past decade. We have uplifted our community, hundreds, even thousands, providing job creation, skill development, upskilling leaders, seeing young people come in as shy individuals and leave as fully fledged creative individuals. There's something beautiful about rising and bringing other people with you. So if we're serious about rethinking tomorrow, and if we really want to step into the next journey of what our purpose and calling looks like, we must stretch beyond what feels safe. We must pivot and find a new direction. We must then leap, actually move, stop procrastinating, get it done. We then must rise, and we rise by bringing other people with us and not doing it selfishly, but doing it to empower our community, and then we stop. To recharge, to love, to heal, to go again, to cry, to let it go, to reflect and to realign ourselves with what our purpose is calling us for. So I invite you today to not just move, but move with purpose. Thank you.